I want to ask you, Kelvin, what are some of your biggest fears or concerns that you have when you start thinking about acquiring a firm?
The biggest thing I feel is most likely the client base, right?
The retention?
Yeah, the retention piece of it. Depending on the firm that is they're selling, there's relationships, with these firms and relationships. Many times they do things that I may not do,
Right.
as far as how I do my business. And so me being comfortable with that drop off of potential clients
Right.
that's going to leave,
Right.
and the value in that piece as well. So
Right.
that's my biggest fear.
Yeah, so, and I'll just tell you one way that in our community, the way we mitigate some of that risk is we implement what we call a forgivable note.
Okay.
So a forgivable note is, first and foremost, for everybody out there watching, never give 100% of your proceeds on the day you close. There has to be a portion held back from that seller to have skin in the game.
Right.
But that portion that's held back, we do a forgivable note where it says, if revenue, let's say in the first 12 months, if it dips below, let's say 90%,
Okay.
it could be a threshold of your choosing.
Yep.
If it dips below 90%, I'm gonna reduce your seller note dollar for dollar. Right?
Makes sense.
So these are little safeguards that we put in place so we can make sure that throughout the next tax season, October as well, like you are invested in us and the retention of these clients, right? So does that kind of make you feel a little bit easier knowing stuff like that exists?
Yeah. So to me, that's the biggest word because there's going to be some transitions of operational policies, SOPs.
Absolutely.
But the biggest thing is that drop off.
Yeah. What other curiosities or thoughts have you ever kind of come across your mind when you're acquiring? I'm the guy to ask, man.
Their operations, we talked about innovation, how
they won't have tax dome most likely. They most likely won't.
What are their standard processes of how they do, how they onboard clients, right? What type of clients do they have?
Right.
And so those type of things, so you can more so train the client the way you want to be trained as opposed to how they've been treated.
For sure.
From the previous owner.
That's always, our approach has always been slow, don't rock the boat. You want to take a couple tax seasons to let their processes still be in play, but then slowly implement some of your processes. One thing I can tell you with Tax Dome specifically, because most of the firms you're going to be talking to, there's a high likelihood that they will not have a practice management system. Excel, QuickBooks, and their tax software, right? So one thing that we did with Tax Dome was a lot of people wanted to come in and pay. And we're like, you know what? And we know our client base that we acquired is a little cheaper, right? Client base, a lot of them are. But we said, you know what? If you come into the office, our credit card processor charges you a fee to use it. If you pay on Tax Dome, there's a fee, but we told them it's free to use. So we kind of ate that cost, but we had probably just in the first tax season, maybe 10 to 15% of the client base say, I'll pay online.
Nice.
Right? So now, again, this is a multiple tax season kind of ordeal, but I think the best approach is kind of come in, let the waters continue running. And that's the beauty of buying a team that has 3 or 4 staff members already. They're doing the day-to-day on day zero, right? Soon as you own it. So our biggest thing is we look for firms where we take the cash flow of the firm, can we back out debt service, whatever that may be, and then we also want to back out at least 1 additional staff member. So if there's 4 people, I want a 5th person. If there's 3, I want 4, because I know that owner is going to be stepping away, right? And so I want to make sure that his 2,000-ish hours are covered by the new person. This allows you now, of our 3 firms, we probably spend maybe 10 to 15 hours a week on all of it. But that's because the staff is all in place already, and we staffed up from day one, right?